Have you ever found yourself buying something you didn't really need, only to feel that wave of regret shortly after? Maybe it was a pair of shoes, a new phone, or even a digital subscription you never use. If that's ever happened to you, know that you're not alone. Impulse buying is actually far more common than most people realize. Here's the important truth. It's not just a lack of discipline or poor money management. There's a whole psychology behind those quick decisions, one that often happens outside of our conscious control. The human brain is wired to seek instant gratification, and marketers have learned how to take full advantage of it. In this video, you'll discover why we fall into these traps, how emotions drive our spending, and most importantly, practical strategies to take control of your impulses and make your money work for you. Once you start applying these tips, you'll see that managing your spending isn't about deprivation. It's about gaining freedom. We live in an era where everything around us seems designed to make us spend more. Flash sales, digital storefronts, personalized ads popping up the moment we start thinking about something. Spending has gone from being a necessity to an automatic habit, running 24/7. You might recognize yourself in this situation. You work hard, get your paycheck, but before you know it, most of your money is gone on things that, in hindsight, weren't that important. And the worst part? At the end of the month, there's that lingering feeling of frustration, like you're always chasing your own tail. This happens because impulse buying isn't just about spending money. It's also about how we try to fill emotional gaps. Some people shop to relieve stress after a rough day, others as a reward, and often it's a way to fit in or project an image of success. The problem is that this behavior, repeated daily, creates a cycle that's hard to break. We buy to feel good, regret it afterward, and then a new desire soon drives the next purchase. Meanwhile, the consequences pile up: credit card debt, constant anxiety, and the frustration of never being able to save or invest. The real cost of impulse buying isn't just financial, it's mental too. But if there's a cycle, there's also a way to break it. To do that, we need to understand how this dynamic works. Now that we see the problem, it's time to talk about the solution. Impulse spending isn't inevitable, and the good news is that there are clear paths to regain control. In this video, we'll explore 10 essential points that will help you see spending in a whole new way. We'll start by understanding why we buy without thinking, then explore how emotions and dopamine influence our choices. We'll uncover marketing tactics, the illusion of status, the difference between need and want, and the real consequences of this habit. Most importantly, you'll learn practical strategies to control impulses and build a wealth-focused mindset. If you apply these strategies, every purchase will stop being a trap and become a conscious choice. Often, we believe our purchases are rational decisions, made after thinking and comparing. But the truth is, most of them happen almost on autopilot. Buying without thinking is linked to how our brain processes quick stimuli and seeks instant gratification. In practice, this means that when we see an appealing product, we don't pause to calculate if we really need it or if it fits our budget. Instead, our brain reacts almost instinctively, triggered by external cues, like bright colors, words like sale, or even the simple ease of clicking buy now. This behavior is reinforced by the rush of daily life. In the middle of a busy routine, we end up making quick decisions without reflection. The problem is that these small impulses, repeated over and over, silently eat away at our budget. If there's one factor that fuels impulse buying, it's emotions. Many of our purchases have nothing to do with necessity. They're about how we feel in the moment. When we're stressed, for example, we look for an escape. Buying something new provides an immediate sense of relief. When we're sad, a purchase can act as an emotional reward, almost like a treat for ourselves. Even happiness can trigger spending. Who hasn't celebrated an achievement by splurging a little more than they should? The danger is that emotions cloud our logic. Instead of asking whether a purchase makes sense, we decide based on feeling. And of course, when the emotion fades, all that's left is the bill. Behind every impulse purchase is a powerful biological mechanism: dopamine. This neurotransmitter is directly linked to pleasure and reward. When you buy something new, your brain releases dopamine, creating a rush of instant satisfaction. It's like a mini victory, a signal that says, "That felt good. do it again. The problem is that pleasure is short-lived. After a few hours or even minutes, it fades, leaving regret in its place. This is when many people shop again, trying to chase the same feeling, creating a cycle that's hard to break. Understanding this process is key. When you realize the impulse isn't coming from a real need, but from a momentary chemical reaction, resisting it becomes much easier. After all, instant pleasure isn't worth the weight of debt that might come later. And it's not just your brain acting alone. Modern marketing is designed to exploit exactly these impulses and emotions. Flash sales, countdowns, last chance offers, and personalized ads are all carefully engineered triggers to make us buy without thinking. Companies know that when we associate pleasure with a purchase, we're more likely to repeat the behavior. Even a simple email saying one-day deal can be enough to make you give in, even if you don't really need the product. Social media amplifies this pressure, showing people buying or showing off products that unconsciously make us want the same thing. Recognizing these traps is the first step. By understanding how marketing manipulates our desires, you can create a conscious strategy. Pause before buying, ask yourself if you really need it, and resist artificially created urgency. Many purchases aren't just about the product, they're about the image we want to project. Today's society values what's visible. A new car, designer clothes, the latest gadgets. This desire for social approval creates an invisible yet powerful pressure that pushes us to spend more than we should. The brain links owning certain items to status and recognition. That's why buying something that looks important to others gives us a brief emotional reward. But that feeling doesn't last. Soon, we want the next item that boosts our image. Recognizing this trap is essential. Always ask yourself, am I buying this for me or to impress someone? This simple reflection helps separate genuine desires from appearance-driven purchases, avoiding unnecessary spending and creating space for smarter financial choices. One of the biggest challenges with impulse buying is confusing what we truly need with what we just want. Needs are essential items for our survival and well-being, like food, housing, and transportation. Wants, on the other hand, are products or services that provide temporary pleasure but aren't essential. Often, we buy something thinking it's a necessity, when in reality, it's just an impulsive desire. For example, upgrading your phone every year might seem essential to keep up with trends, but in practice, it's not necessary. Learning to distinguish between these two is crucial for controlling spending and directing money toward real priorities. A practical technique is to create separate lists, one for needs and another for wants. Before making a purchase, check your list. This helps you make conscious choices and avoid regret. Impulse buying doesn't just affect your wallet, it has real consequences for your financial and emotional life. Thoughtless purchases lead to credit card debt, high interest, and a constant feeling of tight budgets. Beyond the financial impact, there's an emotional toll. Regret, anxiety, and frustration become frequent companions. Many people feel like they can never save or invest, trapped in an endless cycle. Over time, this behavior undermines dreams and financial goals. Money that could be used to invest, build an emergency fund, or achieve personal milestones is quickly spent, often on items that provide little lasting satisfaction. Recognizing these consequences is the first step toward change. By understanding the true cost of impulse buying, you become more aware and motivated to adopt smarter financial habits. Controlling impulse spending starts with self-awareness. It's essential to identify the moments, places, and emotions that most often trigger mindless spending. Maybe you notice that you shop impulsively at night after a long day, or every time you scroll through social media. Writing down these patterns helps map your triggers and create strategies to avoid them. For example, if online shopping at night is a problem, you could set specific times to visit online stores or temporarily block apps. Self-awareness also means recognizing your emotions before buying. Ask yourself, am I buying this because I really need it, or because I'm stressed, bored, or trying to reward myself? This simple practice turns spending into a conscious decision, making it easier to resist impulses and redirect money toward real goals. Now that you recognize the triggers of impulse buying, it's time to put practical strategies into action to regain control. One of the most effective methods is the 30-day rule. Before buying anything non-essential, wait 30 days. Often, you'll find that the desire disappears on its own. Another approach is to plan your purchases. Make detailed lists of what you truly need and stick to them. This helps prevent impulse spending and separates momentary wants from real needs. Conscious budgeting is also key. Allocate specific amounts for essentials, leisure, and investments. This way, you know exactly how much you can spend without compromising your goals. Additionally, avoid digital triggers. Turn off promotional notifications, block store emails, and limit time on social media that encourages spending. When applied consistently, these strategies build automatic financial discipline. Conscious spending stops being a struggle and becomes a habit, ensuring your money works for you, not against you. Controlling impulse spending is just the first step toward transforming your financial life. The next step is developing a wealth mindset, one that goes beyond saving and focuses on thinking strategically about how money can work for you. This mindset starts with prioritizing long-term goals. Instead of spending for short-term pleasure, focus on bigger objectives like investing, building an emergency fund, or acquiring income-generating assets. Every purchase decision should be evaluated with this question in mind. Does this bring me closer to or further from financial freedom? Another crucial point is replacing instant gratification with conscious planning. The sense of satisfaction from resisting an impulse can be just as powerful as the temporary reward of a purchase, especially when you recognize its positive impact on your future. Over time, this practice becomes natural. Self-control stops being a daily struggle and becomes part of your financial identity. Buying transforms from an impulsive act into a conscious decision, aligned with clear goals and the creation of true wealth. Now that you understand the mechanisms behind impulse spending and know strategies to control it, it's time to act. Every purchase you avoid is more than money saved. It's a step toward financial freedom and building a solid future. Many people postpone change, waiting for the right moment to start. But each day that passes is a missed opportunity to strengthen healthy habits and improve your relationship with money. The sooner you apply these practices, the faster you'll see tangible results, like reduced debt, increased investments, and greater control over your finances. Remember, it's not just about spending less, it's about thinking more and acting with intention. Resisting an impulse isn't a sacrifice, it's an investment in your well-being, security, and the dreams you want to achieve. And each small victory builds confidence. The more you practice self-control, the easier it becomes to resist future temptations, turning momentary habits into a lasting financial mindset. If these tips on impulse spending and financial control resonated with you, it's time to take action. Start by applying at least one strategy we discussed today, whether it's the 30-day rule, shopping lists, or identifying your emotional triggers. And don't stop there. Share your experience in the comments. We want to know, what's the first strategy you're going to apply in your life? Also, like this video and subscribe to the channel to keep learning about financial habits, investing, and a wealth mindset. Every step you take toward financial control isn't just personal progress, it's also a way to inspire others to do the same. Remember, small, consistent changes lead to powerful results. We've reached the end of this video, but the learning doesn't stop here. Impulse spending can trap you, but self-control sets you free. Every conscious decision to spend less or delay a purchase is in fact an investment in your future. Think about the impact of each small action. By resisting an impulse purchase today, you're not just saving money, you're creating opportunities to invest, save, and reach important goals. This shift in behavior transforms your relationship with money and opens doors to a healthier, more intentional financial life. The power of transformation lies in consistency. It's not about perfection, it's about daily progress. Every conscious purchase, every controlled impulse, every goal achieved strengthens your wealth mindset and reinforces your financial discipline. Remember, money comes and goes, but smart habits last forever. Financial freedom begins in the mind. At the moment you choose to act consciously, think long-term, and prioritize your real goals. Today, you've taken the first step on this journey. Keep applying what you've learned, transform your habits, get inspired, and inspire others. The financial future you want is within reach, And it all starts with small, powerful choices made every day.